epic entrance. Had to do the epic entrance, bruh. Y'all already know. Was off YouTube for a few days. Had to do the epic entrance. Y'all already know, bruh. Y'all already fucking know. TCP, nigga, you already know. Oh my god, man. I'm bringing the OG songs back, nigga. Holy shit. God damn. I know I say that every time we start the stream. I say holy shit every time we start the stream. It's actually crazy, but still. Fuck that shit. It's my stream. I'm gonna say whatever I want. Anyways. I see some of y'all already dropped a like. Appreciate it. Alright. How's everybody doing? I know this stream seems a bit like last minute. Hang on, let me see if everything's working. I know this stream seems a bit last minute. It's because this wasn't originally gonna be a stream. This was gonna be a video. I was just gonna make a debunking video, but I got an interview tomorrow. I literally don't have time to edit, so I'm like, fuck it. We'll just do it off rip. Cause a lot of y'all niggas, a lot of y'all sent me this. Like 4 or 5 of y'all sent me this video. I'm like, oh, okay. Miles Morales is Spider-Man. The nerfing of Peter Parker. So it's just like, again, bro, again. We back on this whole Peter was nerfed bullshit. I don't know what to tell you, man. But y'all already know, idiots show up. I'm gonna roast them. It's just how it is. You know, I see how you do it, man. I'm happy to see one of my favorite YouTuber Black Brothers do another round of clowning the gatekeepers. Peter Parker stands. Yeah. It's just sad to see that there's... Hang on. Fuck it. I don't give a shit. I'm gonna keep the light like this. I'm gonna keep the light like this, nigga. That was some cool ass entrance. Appreciate it. What's up, Shadow, dude? You're in chat. It's your day off, bro? It's your day off? Is everybody else off today, too? I know I'm not. I got somewhere to be tomorrow, so I'm gonna make this quick. But yeah, like I said, there's gonna be a debunking stream. You've seen this video. Oh, okay. I mean, but I don't want to hear him out. I want to hear him out. Hi, C. I remember you saying that you wanted to do another Spider-Verse meme reaction video. Oh yeah, that's coming. Shared some videos in your community post, but I haven't heard from you. Oh, well, I saw them, but you know, I gotta actually put them in my videos though. If not, hit me up. All right. But let's get into it. Because like I said, I want to make this quick. Y'all know with my live streams, I like to keep it short and sweet. So we're just going to get into it. Because like I said, I got somewhere to be tomorrow. Appreciate y'all tuning in. If y'all like what y'all see, be sure to drop a like. But let's get into it. So, Miles Morales, the nerfing of Peter Parker. Let's get into it. Make sure my volume's right. Let's go.
If you want to replace your highly popular megastar character, do not put that character down to prop the replacement up. I was originally going to respond to complaints about Insomniac's confirmation about Miles becoming the main Spider-Man in their game's universe. The reaction that a not insignificant amount of fans had was negative, and that didn't make sense to me. The game clearly sets up that situation, so what's the issue? And this question popped into my head while I was writing my review. Link up top.
Wait, hang on. You want to know what's funny?
The game clearly sets up the amount of fans had was negative. And that
the irony of a Batman Beyond fan saying Miles isn't Spider-Man is literally crazy to me. That's crazy. A Batman Beyond fan saying Miles isn't Spider-Man. I find that hilarious. But if I said, hey, Terry isn't Batman, Wouldn't that be a little bit of an issue as well? This is why I tell y'all, it's hypocrisy.
That didn't make sense.
It's crazy to me.
The game clearly sets up that situation, so what's the issue? And this question popped into my head while I was writing my review. Link up top. Why exactly do so many people say that Peter Parker is Spider-Man and Miles Morales is Miles Morales? Are they stupid? It's right there in his comic book title.
Yeah.
It's no different from Wally
right
West.
There. It literally says Spider-Man.
It's right there in his comic.
Miles Morales, Spider-Man. Marvel says he's Spider-Man, he's Spider-Man. But I want to hear him out, right? Let's see if this guy can, because you know what? Let's see if he can break it down. I want to hear him out.
Book title. It's no different from Wally West as the Flash or John Stewart as Green Lantern.
Exactly.
No one complained about Miguel O'Hara going by the exact same name as Peter either. I couldn't figure it out. I even started to buy into the only remaining theory I saw online. The big R. Racism.
Which, I mean, let's be real though. Even when Miles came out back in 2011, you saw people saying, oh my God, they made Spider-Man black. And then look at that. We still getting that hate. Like 12 years later. Imagine that. But again, it's because Miles is getting more popular. I told you, they're afraid. It's really what it is.
They just didn't want to see a black character making such a meteoric rise to fame. And as I finished reviewing the story of the recent Spider-Man game.
And that's the thing too, about like whole black characters and stuff. So they call Miles a leech and everything. And they say like, well, just use characters like Static Shock or Black Lightning. Because those are original black characters, right? Original black characters, which they are. Give them shows and movies. Why you got to use the leech, Miles Morales? Here's the thing. I agree Static Shock deserves like a movie of some sort. Because I used to love Static Shock. But let's be real. The reason why they would rather have Static Shock instead of Miles propped up, the people who say this, is because, let's be real. As much as I love Static Shock, he'll never be mainstream. At least not on that level, right? And it's not Static's fault, because it's just that the whole like black kid with lightning powers, it's just so overused. That's like what they try to do it now, it just won't stand out. Right? Green Lantern is different from legacy characters like the Flash and the Spider-Man mantle. There's like 10 Green Lantern members. I think Alan Scott is different from the others because his ring is magic. Yeah, but yeah, I agree. Static Shock, they say stuff like Static Shock, but that's the thing. You got to think about this, right? People like Static Shock and Black Lightning. Black Lightning is one of the most popular black characters ever. And you want the most we got was a CW TV show. Think about that. Think about that. Seriously, that's the most we got. So it's like they're okay with Static Shock and the Black Lightnings. They're okay with the background characters. You know, let them do their own thing. Let them do their own thing. But as soon as you have a character like Miles and you have him share the spotlight with a popular white character like Spider-Man, it's a problem. I told you, the minute they started introducing Miles into all these shows and stuff like that, I knew people were going to start crying. I knew it. I just knew it. Because like I said, I was reading the comics when Miles came out. I knew people were going to start crying. It's just with some people you can't win. Spawn is a black character. Spawn is a black character that could really use some time if done right. But, you know, what is it? 2024? Still no Spawn movie. Think about that.
It hit me that it is
Black Lightning was in Injustice 2. I mean, like, some real properties to, like, really showcase him as a character. We haven't got that.
Racism. Well, not the majority of it. People just don't want Peter Parker to be replaced, or worse, replaced and disrespected. I don't recall this rhetoric becoming popular until 2018-ish. You know what happened in 2018? Into the Spider-Verse and Insomniac's Spider-Man 1, both of which featured Miles Morales in a major capacity. The year prior, Homecoming was released.
And then here's the thing, Into the Spider-Verse didn't even make that much money, right? Because you gotta take into account, it's animated, right? People already used to shit on animated movies during that time as is. And it was an animated film that wasn't geared towards kids. It was more geared towards like late teens, early adults. So that didn't really help it. And then the main character wasn't Peter Parker. So barely anyone went to go see it. It wasn't until it went to streaming and you saw so much praise from it. It was like, yo, this film's actually a masterpiece. What happened? Across the Spider-Verse, Into the Spider-Verse 2, highly anticipated, made a shit ton of money. People aren't going to go see something just because Spider-Man is on it. Like the TASM films, the movie has to actually be good. It's almost like Miles is a good character.
Laid out a cameo concerning Aaron Davis.
What is this cartoon Yo Gabba Gabba character doing on my screen? I don't know why people use these avatars, man. I'll never understand it. I'll never fucking understand it, bro. It's not for me. Whatever floats your boat. I'm just like, I don't get it either. But let's keep going.
The year prior, Homecoming was released, which laid out a cameo concerning Aaron Davis, Miles Morales' uncle and also the Prowler. This sets up Miles in the MCU by letting the audience know that he exists at the very least.
Gabba Gabba.
He also appeared in the cartoon Ultimate Spider-Man as a side character in season 3 and then a recurring character in the next. Miles gets pushed at the very least. This sets up Miles in the MCU by letting the audience know that he exists at the very least.
Okay. I mean, even then, though, that was just like, I'm pretty sure that was a little Easter egg, right? And then did people really think we were going to get Miles in the MCU that early when we had just gotten Peter? Because that was during Homecoming. We had just gotten Peter. No. I think it was just a little Easter egg to say, hey, you know, Miles Morales at least exists, so just in case we might use him, we could allude back to the scene. But, I mean, even then, some people just took it and ran with it. Oh my God, they're getting Miles Morales already? I'm just like, yo, look, 8 years later, 8 years after that movie, still no Miles. So that was a false flag as well. It was literally just a cameo. His cartoon character looks like he's gonna start teaching me math. I'm not gonna lie, bro. My man got the Mega Man. My man got the Mega Man X2 avatar, bro. This what man looking like right now. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Bro. He like, oh hell nah, bro. You gotta change that avatar, Obi. Listen, I like Mega Man. He's cool, but this avatar ain't it. I'm just saying. This avatar is not it. Bruh.
He also appeared in the cartoon Ultimate Spider-Man as a side character in season 3 and then a recurring character in the next. Miles gets pushed just as much, if not more so, than Peter nowadays. And people don't like that.
Okay. then let them not like it, right? I mean, Miles is a popular character. They like him. That's how profitable characters work, right? People love Miles, so you're going to see more of him. That's how that works. They love Miles, so that means he's profitable. He makes money. So they're going to keep pushing him and pushing him and pushing him, and he's going to get more and more and more popular. That's how that works. Just like Peter when he was first introduced. Like, why is this so hard for people to understand? Like, seriously? Oh, right. Because the only people that think Miles is being pushed, again, are the people who don't like the character. Like, again, people don't like that. They feel like he's getting pushed, and let them not like it. There's some people you're not going to be able to please. There will no matter how much good writing they give him, there's always going to be people that say Miles isn't Spider-Man. It just is what it is. I get it. Like, your heart seems to be in the right place, but you're trying to rationalize the fanboy's behavior. It's not going to happen. You saying I finally figured out? There's nothing to figure out, bro. They just don't like Miles. It's just the way it is.
This is a feeling I understand well. As a small note about myself, because it's relevant to the situation, the first and second...
And then we just had No Way Home, and Peter's getting like a shit ton of cartoons. Unless you want to count Spider-Man Lotus. Unless y'all want to count Spider-Man Lotus, shit, we can count that as a movie. So Peter fans got that. Peter fans got that. Nigga, y'all got Spider-Man Lotus. Shit, there's y'all Peter. Well, didn't that release like just last year? Y'all got that. Y'all got that, nigga. Bruh. So y'all definitely, Peter fans definitely still been getting content. And if anything, Peter was also in the Spider-Verse movies. Like, bro, we've been seeing a lot more of Peter, of Spider-Man, Peter and Miles. Like, this whole narrative that one is being pushed over the other is it's stupid, right? And I don't mind it. I don't mind them building up another Spider-Man, because like I said, the solo Peter stuff it's just gotten stale for me. Even the MCU movies were just like, they weren't all that. Now, again, if you guys want to see the same shit over and over and over again, that's on you. We want to see something different. It just is what it is. That's why I keep trying to tell these guys, Miles brings something new to the table. But again, fanboys don't want to hear that. Because at the end of the day, it's a mainstream Spider-Man that's not Peter Parker. Like, sometimes you just gotta let crybabies cry, bro. Now, they gonna cry, and I'm gonna roast them while they do. So, but yeah.
I read to completion were both Spider-Man related back in 2013. The first was Ultimate Spider-Man, and second was the Superior Spider-Man. Both of these runs have something in common that I will bring up in a little bit. I picked up Ultimate because when I saw the cover on that rack full of floppies, I saw a dope design for a Spider-Man costume.
Also, if y'all like what y'all see, be sure to like the stream.
I saw a black kid underneath, and I was furious, livid even.
Oh yeah, I mean, Miles' costume design was fucking dope. Like, he has one of the best design costume. It's like, I'd say Kane, Miles, and the Future Foundation are the three, and then the stealth suit, the big time stealth suit, best design suits ever. Like, there's just no competing. But he had a dope suit, and I remember buying this book at the book fair when it dropped. I'm thinking, I thought it was Peter Parker too. Shit, I opened it. It said like I was just confused. I mean, I wasn't enraged or anything because I was young. I was a kid. I was like, I wonder what it would be like to see a Spider-Man that's not Peter Parker. I didn't even know it was in an alternate universe either. I was just curious about it.
And I was furious, livid even.
Goodness gracious, I see you're putting in words exactly how I feel. They're gonna say I don't see color. Ain't colorblind. Shut your ass up, TCP. Shut your ass up.
I thought they'd turn
Lotus was a synthetic man production. Yeah. Guarantee. How much you want to bet these same people who don't like Miles secretly love Spider-Man Lotus?
Parker black for some reason and flip. Since at this point,
I saw people in that comment section saying Spider-Man Lotus was a good movie. Different strokes for different folks, I guess, but
the concept of a multiverse wasn't something I was aware of. So I picked the issue up and scanned through it quickly, only to find that Peter was dead. The kid on the cover was his successor, and it wasn't even a mainline universe. That anger was immediately replaced with curiosity. How did Peter die? What happened here? And that set me on the wonderful ride that is Ultimate Spider-Man. I later picked up the Superior Spider-Man run because I read on Wikipedia that Peter had also died in the mainline universe around the same time. Except no actual successor there.
Time?
Instead, it was Doc Ock who had commandeered his body as a last-ditch scheme to defeat Peter.
So.
A scheme that clearly worked. Now, I thought Otto as the Superior Spider-Man was incredibly interesting, and it remains as one of my favorite comic runs.
Yeah, I mean,
but there's a problem with it. A problem that both of these runs have.
I think Otto was a better Spider-Man than Peter, to be honest. But again, it's not out of hatred for Peter. I just think Otto does things better as a Spider-Man than Peter did. That's not to say Peter's a bad Spider-Man. I just like Otto's version more. Like, that's the thing. They think people who like Miles these fanboys, they think people who like Miles automatically dislike or have a hate towards Peter. I'm just like, no, I like Peter. You just like Miles more. It's just like
revolve around the death of
Peter's still a great Spider-Man. He always will be a great Spider-Man.
Parker, and were followed, and it remains as one of my favorite comic runs, but there's a problem with it. A problem that both of these runs have. They both revolve around the death of Peter Parker, and were followed by someone for whom it was stated could be better at his job than he.
Wait, hang on, no. Wait, what?
Peter Parker, and were followed by someone for whom it was stated could.
No, that's like comparing apples and oranges, though, because when Superior Spider-Man was happening, Peter was been dead by the time Superior Spider-Man had happened. Peter was already dead in the Ultimate Universe like 2-3 years prior. Because it's an alternate universe. It's got nothing to do with the main universe. And then even with Superior Spider-Man, that was more of a self-contained story arc because we knew Peter was coming back. That's two different shit. And then even with Miles, the way they're doing Miles now is they're building him up to be more of a successor to Peter. But for now, they're coexisting, which is great. But I'm saying eventually, if we want Peter to live his life, I mean, Miles is gonna have to take over at some point. And that's what I'm saying. If we want to evolve Peter, bro, give this nigga Peter, give him Parker Industries back. That's the one thing Superior Spider-Man did really well. Give that nigga Parker Industries back. Wouldn't that be like some exceedingly awesome character development? Peter going from rags to riches, bruh. Peter needs to be putting his intelligence to use, and he could use Parker Industries to do that. Like, imagine that. Peter could be a fucking millionaire. He could be like the Bruce Wayne, right? The Bruce Wayne type Spider-Man, where he's Spider-Man for like the really big situations while running his company, and just let Miles run the streets for him. Like, there's ways to do this, bro. There's ways to do it. Like I said, I have ideas, but ultimately it's up to Marvel.
Better at his job than he ever had been. Problem that both of these runs have. They both revolve around the death of Peter Parker, and were followed by.
If Miles does exist in the MCU and Peter is 15 in Homecoming, Miles would have to be 7 years old or 12 at the oldest. Why is he getting his undies in his list? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was just because he just said he got a nephew, right? It was just a little cameo. It was just a little seed, right? That's it. But they could abide by the timeline because Endgame did have the 5-year time skip. Because I think it was 8 years plus the 5-year time skip. So Miles would be about 16, 17 right now. If they wanted to put him in the MCU, now would be the perfect time. So they could do it. I get the feeling that these haters always make it seem like that Peter Parker always has to be number one, even though we stay getting Peter Parker stories. Exactly. There's nothing wrong with them building up another Spider-Man. And they're making it seem like they're pushing Miles. When if anything, like, Miles has literally just had 2 movies in a game. That's it. And he's appeared in some animated shows here and there. Now that's going to change. We're going to start seeing a lot more of him. But it's exceedingly hard to believe that Marvel would just take Peter and just throw him aside. Especially because they keep him in that perpetual loop in the comics because of the fact that they think it appeals to fans. Think about that. That's why they do it. But they don't know, hey, you're screwing over Peter as a result. It's got nothing to do with Miles. It's just the way Marvel's handling Peter. But instead of Peter fans actually addressing this to editorial, they take their hate out on Miles and his fans.
Someone for whom it was stated could be better at his job than he ever had been. Granted, Miles as a character never says this, but the side characters all push him as having the potential to be as good or better than his predecessor.
That's the point. Is that not the point of a mentor? So that the successor does better than the original? like what? Like what? That's the whole point. Like, Miles is supposed to be ideologically a better Spider-Man than Peter. If Peter's the one mentoring him, yeah, Peter would want Miles to be a better Spider-Man than he was. And we're already seeing elements to that, right? Like, Miles is better at balancing his life than Peter is, right? He's more willing to accept help than Peter is, while Peter prefers to work alone. The differences are there, bro. Like, I don't know what to tell you. I'll give you some examples. Wally West, best developed legacy character in DC. What happened? Barry Allen trained him. He got killed off in Crisis. Wally West took over. He was the Flash for an entire generation. But Barry built that up. Blue Beetle, what happened? Ted Kord mentored Jaime Reyes. What happened? Ted Kord got killed off. And well, I think was it Infinite Crisis, if I'm not mistaken? Jaime Reyes took over as Blue Beetle. And he's been Blue Beetle ever since then. But again, Ted Kord mentored him to get there. Legacy character. That's what we mean when we say that. It's not that, I promise y'all, it's not that hard to understand. But Miles being better doesn't automatically make Peter a bad Spider-Man. It's just like, hey, you built up another superhero and passed on the legacy. That's the whole point. Why is this so hard to understand? Like, bro.
Natural. And Otto's whole thing is that he wants to defeat Parker in every way.
He is and then even then, like, he's saying, like, good or better than his predecessors. Like, they make it sound like Miles was like, the perfect Spider-Man. Bro, when Miles started out as Spider-Man in his Ultimate Comics, he was trash. Like, that nigga was getting his ass beat the fuck up. First match, he ran the fade with Kangaroo. Got his ass beat because Kangaroo was a big-ass nigga. Barely escaped with his fucking life. Barely. He got out by crushing the dude with the car. And then even when S.H.I.E.L.D. followed, they sent Spider-Woman after him. They're like, yo, who's this idiot pretending to be Spider-Man? Went up against Spider-Woman. Got his ass beat. Like, dude, he didn't even make his own webs. S.H.I.E.L.D. and May had to give him his own webs because he didn't fucking know how to make web fluid. Like, bro, yeah, he's had some easy victories here and there, but acting like Miles was the perfect Spider-Man from the jump, this is false. And he usually comes from people who never read his comics whatsoever.
And Otto's whole thing is that he wants to defeat Parker in every way. He is a villain after all, so that doesn't really matter in the story itself. But together, it could be read as a certain message. A message.
Miles being a better Spider-Man than Peter makes sense. I don't see the issue. They just need something to whine and complain about. Exactly. But like I said, it's just better to let crybabies cry. Babies cry, but eventually they gotta go to sleep. Babies cry until they fall asleep. It'll stop. It'll go away. I'm gonna roast until they do, though. And like, y'all, that's the thing. Y'all really think Marvel's listening to y'all at this point in regards to Miles? When it's proven that most of the fans love him? Y'all really think Marvel's listening to y'all? Y'all crying? Oh my God, he's not Spider-Man. And like, yes, I get it. Peter's getting hoed. He is. But that's been happening, though. That was already happening before Miles was even a concept. So it doesn't make sense.
That tells people they should move on from the classic Spider-Man. That doesn't really matter in the story itself. But together, it could be read as a certain message. A message that tells people they should move on from the classic Spider-Man. The reason I bring this up is because 2013 is prior to the concept of woke, SJW propaganda, and other topics like those becoming mainstream.
I mean, you guys know why the classic Spider-Man stories are cool, right? It's because they're classic. It's time for more modern, updated stories, updated takes. And no, I don't mean just making Peter and Miles gay or making them non-binary. Like, not that type of shit. No. I mean, like, new concepts to explore. Like, maybe Peter evolving beyond the costume? Peter getting Parker Industries? He could make a whole bunch of tech due to his experience with all these other villains. Peter's got experience. Give him Parker Industries, give him the money. He can aid Miles in all his missions. Have and just in case Peter needs to be Spider-Man, have MJ be the CEO of the company. So that, hey, MJ can run shit while Peter's off being Spider-Man with Miles. We all have ideas. We don't want Peter to get owed. I don't know why y'all gatekeepers and fanboys just assume we all want Peter to get owed. It's not that. It's not that at all. And again, y'all, even when it comes to the games, Peter literally just took a few hits. And y'all whipped together a whole fucking video and fanboys whining for no reason. Like, bro, if anything, Insomniac is overseen by Sony. And if any, bro, Sony, y'all saw Sony battling the MCU when it came to Spider-Man, when it came to Peter. Like, if anything, Sony gatekeeps Peter more than the fanboys do. So I guarantee if they felt like they were hoeing Peter a bit too much, they would have stepped in and said, yo, let's change that. Hell nah. They're not hoeing Peter, bro. They're not.
Can he say Miles isn't Spider-Man back then? Only that he was kind of bland. He wasn't different enough from Peter and didn't have unique villains, and this made him come off as a black Peter Parker, actually. Guess
he wasn't different enough from Peter. Like, so if you actually read Ultimate Spider-Man, you would, like, the Peter of that universe and Miles act nothing alike. Like, not even a little bit. Peter in Ultimate Spider-Man was, like, he was savage as hell. He was sarcastic. He was cocky, arrogant. He was like, bro, he was confident, experienced, like, and then we get to Miles, who's doubtful, anxiety-ridden, low self-esteem, inexperienced. Peter makes his own webs. Miles doesn't. Like, the differences are there, bro. Miles more willing to let other people help him. Peter prefers to work alone. Guys, the differences are there, bro. Just because you guys refuse to see those differences does not mean they aren't there. I am telling you, all these people that are saying Miles is Peter darker, he's just a reskinned Peter Parker, y'all have no idea what the fuck y'all are talking about. Again, yeah, a lot of Miles stories aren't that great, but he had some really good, he had some real good character development. Like, Spider-Verse is literally comic book Miles, just more fleshed out. Also, his uncle is much better in the movies, because in the comics he was just a piece of shit. But yeah, like, again, I'm open to criticism when it comes to, I'm open to it, but y'all gotta level with me.
Wasn't too far off the mark when I first picked that issue.
But no, he's not just a black version of Peter Parker.
But Miles had potential. This was the first completely separate character, meaning not a clone, to pick up the mantle of Spider-Man as a direct successor. That limited issue run of Spider-Man, where Peter from the 616 and Miles meet for the first time, was some of the most hype I have felt reading modern comics. If he could just get some of his own villains and relationships, then he'd be perfect. That aligned with the general sentiment I saw online as well. And he
could use some unique villains, but even then, I'm pretty sure, like, from what people told me, because I'm not a big comic book reader, like, I'm not going to pretend I'm some big comic fanatic, because I'm not, but from what all the readers have been telling me, he's been having his own villains for like a minute in the comics. and then repurposing some of Peter's lesser known villains and making them more interesting in Miles' version, that counts. Like, people were saying, oh my god, well, the Prowler was still a Peter villain, nigga. None of y'all niggas gave a shit about the Prowler until Miles. Let's just keep it a buck. Let's just keep it a buck. Spot was way more interesting in Spider-Verse than he was in the comics. Like, he was alright in the comics, but he was more interesting when it came to Miles' dynamic in Spider-Verse. So yeah, it counts. But I do agree. But let's not act like the original villains thing is a crux for why Miles' character isn't a good character, because he is, and that for the most part doesn't really change anything.
Secret Wars happened. Miles was moved into the main universe, and Marvel has been unable to balance him and Peter existing side by side. The opinion you began to see from people at this point is that Miles worked better in a universe where his Peter was dead. The opinion you began to see.
Yeah, when they first brought him over to, because they brought him over to the main universe because, well, they wanted to kill off the Ultimate Universe because it wasn't really selling as much as it should have. And the funny thing is, Miles' comics were the only ones holding that. People were only tuning into the Ultimate Universe for the Miles comics. That should tell you something. As bland as y'all say he is, he had a following. He had a fan base. That's why they brought him over. And even then, they brought Peter Parker back. Guess what? People hated it. So, I don't know what more y'all wanted them to do. But I do agree when he first came over to 616, they didn't really know what to do with him. But they're doing a lot better now. Sony should let Spider-Man go, so what? Disney Marvel can destroy him even worse next? Nah, I'm good. What's up, Kodo Murray? What's up? Yeah, Miles is very different, Lil Yeet. Miles is very different. What if a comic where Miles and Peter's places were switched? I have to be honest, I stopped reading Miles comics since Venom tried to kill his mother. His mother did die, though. Unless you're talking about the newer iterations. He did die when he was fighting Venom. Yeah, yeah, his mom did die in that, right? Like I said, I'm not like it's been a while since I read him. And that was what like made Miles stop being Spider-Man for a while. Like the other heroes had literally had to convince him to come back. Cause in his mind he fucked up hard. But they were like, yo, this city needs a Spider-Man to protect it. You gotta come back. He came back, absolutely slayed. Again, I could be wrong. Y'all feel free to correct me. It's been a while since I read him. I don't know everything, so.
From people at this point is that Miles worked better in a universe where his Peter was dead.
Oh, yeah, because Rio was shot, I think, while he was fighting Venom. I think that's how that played out.
What made his story compelling from the start, that Peter was his Uncle Ben in a way. Well, what about now? It got very, very confusing because the writers couldn't decide on what Miles remembered from the Ultimate Universe. Did he remember that his mother died?
The MCU Spider-Man didn't have that classic Spider-Man arc. There's no Harry Osborn, no Mary Jane. Where the fuck was Uncle Ben's grave? Flash Thompson. Bruh, y'all want to know what's funny? Peter in the MCU was basically a white Miles. Pretty much. Like, y'all don't believe me? Who played, bro? Miles is like Peter in the MCU was doubtful of himself, had to learn from other superheroes. What else? Didn't have that much faith in himself. Had, he acted just like Miles. That's why, and that's the thing, Peter didn't act like the Peter that most fans were familiar with, which is why most people took issue with his character. With his version of the character. His best friend ripped straight from the comics. Ned, yeah, Genki, basically. Anyone who's read the Ultimate Comics knows I'm telling the truth. Remember Genki played with Legos in the comics? Ned in the MCU plays with Legos. Don't believe me? Let's look at Ned in the MCU. Like, he acts and looks just like Genki from the comics, bro. Just like Genki. Literally. Played with Legos. Guy in the chair. Best friend. Like, he acts just like him. Every unique trait about Miles in the Ultimate Universe, they pretty much slapped it onto Peter in the MCU. Basically. Now, I would have much rather them base that Peter off of the Peter from the original Ultimate Spider-Man. That would have been a way better take. But, yeah. Peter in the MCU is a white Miles. Pretty much. The irony in this is if Peter was real and saw all the hate Miles got, he would pull a high C and clown these idiots at the save. And that's the thing, Peter even gave him his blessing. Like, what the fuck? The same so-called Peter Parker fans would turn on him to call him woke. Nah, bro, you're doing great. No, he is. Like, he literally is. He's a white Miles. Like, everybody around him is based off of Miles' environment from the Ultimate Comics. Ned in the MCU is the exact, it's verbatim Genki in the comics. Literally. I kid you not. Basically worked for S.H.I.E.L.D. like Miles did. He's a white Miles, bro.
On what Miles remembered from the Ultimate Universe. Did he remember that his mother died? Did he remember?
Yeah, okay, so Rio did die.
He put on the mask out of guilt for not helping the Ultimate Peter? Beats me. Once Miles is in the mainline universe, he begins to...
Just go read the first few issues of Miles' Spider-Man story. Genki plays with Legos. Bro, he's literally Genki. He is literally Genki from the comics, bro. Literally.
Expand. He starts getting pushed in the media. His popularity continues to rise amongst the general population as the projects he's associated with are more often than not successful.
By golly gosh.
Whoa. I ain't fucking with these ads. Oh, we can just skip it.
By golly gum, my home performance computer seems to have passed away.
Fuck these ads, man. But yeah.
Hasn't been lacking for appearances.
But yeah, you said they're for the most part successful. It's almost like he's not a bland character. People actually like him. Not just because he's black, but just that's stupid that people keep saying well, people only like Miles because he's black. Every project he's in has been successful. Let's take into account Riri Williams. Riri Williams is a bland character. That's why you only saw her in Wakanda Forever. Never seen that chick again. I heard she's gotten better in the comics, but still. Like, this whole premise that Miles is a token and people only like him because he's black, it's crazy. Because an actual token is basically Riri Williams in Wakanda Forever, but take her out and put her in, like, if they took Riri out of Wakanda Forever and put her in, like, Iron Man, and they heavily marketed her, right, just because of her race, and you went to see it and you realize, oh shit, she literally does nothing, but they overtly marketed her just based on her race, that's a token character. But Miles is more than that. He's developed. But the thing is, these people look at Miles. But that's the thing, when they don't think about, they know tokenization has something to do with race, but they don't put the other part in of where he's actually a developed character. So they look at him, they say, oh, well, he's just a black Spider-Man. They don't look at the fact that he's a developed character and they call him a token. So the only people calling Miles a token are the actual racists. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Associated with are more often than not successful. Peter hasn't been lacking for appearances either. Just take one look at the response to No Way Home, but his comics version has gone through it. Lost.
I will say that the original Miles comics were a mess. I mean, he had some good stories in there. I wouldn't say they were a mess, like, completely, but yeah. Some were good, some were really great, some were bad, some were really bad, but acting like his comic runs were just terrible, just no. But even then, like Riri Williams isn't really like a token character. She's just a bad character. Granted, token characters do exist, but I'm just giving you an example. There's no such thing as a token. Oh no. Token characters absolutely do exist. that, granted that, yeah, no. Token characters exist. Just not the ones they're talking about. They're just calling him a token to insult him. Riri Williams isn't a token character either, but under different circumstances, she would be. But token characters absolutely do exist.
His body, got it back. Got a Fortune 500 company, lost it. Got Mary Jane back, then got cucked. And now has no respect from the superhero community.
Spider-Verse movies are better than the... Oh, yeah. Way better. Spider-Verse is... Oh, yeah. Spider-Verse is way, way better than the comics. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying all that. Like, they're way better than the comics. Definitely.
In universe, primarily thanks to a lot of out-of-character writing. The way the greatest Marvel character...
I'd say Miles in the comics, like, the stories weren't bad. They just were forgettable, to say the least. But he still had some... Yeah, he had some solid storytelling. Miles as a character was still pretty well developed. It's just the stories, like...
has been treated in the last 7
It would have been an interesting idea if they handled some of his stories better.
So years has been nothing short of atrocious.
They still weren't bad.
If you count his deal with the devil, then you could technically go back 16 years. This is a guy that had characters from the future mention that Pete was considered the greatest hero of all time in only the mid-2000s. In fact, that's the biggest issue. Many feel as though Peter is not being given any respect, and writers are giving it all to Miles instead. We could take a look at the comics where Peter has become the definition of maidenless, whilst Miles can create an entire lightning bolt has become the definition.
You do know that Miles writers and Peter writers aren't the same, right? What do you mean giving it all to Miles? I'm so, like, this is just basic comic. The people who are writing Miles comics aren't the same people writing Peter's comics. It's more like Miles is under writers that actually love the character, and Peter is just getting hoed by Zeb Wells because of the editorial meddling with him. Because you gotta understand, editorial, like, they don't really give a shit about Miles. Once they brought him over to 616, they were just like, do whatever you want with him. They don't care. They care about Peter. It's just Miles just happens to be getting better stories. It's not out of some weird conspiracy to prop up Miles and destroy Peter. It's just Miles comics are just better right now because they're under writers that actually care about the character. And when it comes to Peter, Peter's run his mill, bro. They don't know what the fuck to do with him. Because you got 60 years of history to the point where really trying to tell a new story is extremely difficult. So they put him in the same perpetual story loop over and over, fights the Goblin over and over, goes to MJ, they have a love triangle, they get in a long-ass relationship, they break up, MJ's interested in some other dude, she breaks up with that dude, gets back with Peter, fights the Goblin again, cycle restarts. It's the same shit, and people are tired of it. I don't know what to tell you, but again, that was happening before Miles was even a thing. So you guys are gonna start to notice a pattern here that they're blaming Miles for Peter's issues with the comics before Miles was even a conception.
Of maidenless, whilst Miles can create an entire lightning bolt. I'm sorry, he can make swords? That's cool as fuck.
Iron Miles' comics are really well, okay. That's I can't lie. That's stupid. That's stupid. That lightsaber power is bullshit. I'm sorry. It's cool, but literally I was like, what the fuck? Spider-Man should not have a lightsaber. I'm sorry. Listen, it's cool to see, but if it's one thing, please stop giving him all these bullshit powers. Please. Like, Miles in the comics is starting to become way too fucking busted. Like, I heard in his latest issue, one of his latest issues, like, now he can see through walls. I'm like, shit, what? But it's cool to see. I don't mind. Like, it doesn't bother me that bad, but it's just weird. Because it's just like, you know, when I think of Spider-Man, I don't think of lightsabers, but I do get it because of the Venom Blast ability, but it's just still like a lightsaber. I don't know about that one, Ovi. Again, I'm open to criticism of the character, but most of the criticism y'all are throwing at him don't make sense. I just, bro. Y'all saw me roasting the Flash for this exact same shit. Hell nah. If y'all can just stop giving him these weird ass abilities, but character growth wise, character development, his comics are great. Top tier. Amazing. And that's a Miles original villain. Cause y'all keep saying Miles doesn't have original villains. He's been fighting his own villains for a minute. What y'all gotta say now? Nothing.
To do with spiders. Does he even need spider powers at this point? If he can make a lightning sword, perform lightning kamehamehas, and turn invisible, I think he could be a solo hero just based on his bioelectricity.
Nah, we're good. We'll just eat Spider-Man. We're good.
That's to the list. His power set is cooler than Peter's too. Sorry, I got sidetracked. If we take a look at Spider-Man 2, for instance, Peter is broken down all game until he reaches a final breaking point at the end and decides to take a break. This would be fine since this has happened several times before, but Miles is propped up as the perfect version of Spider-Man. And in the game, he kind of is. His friends and family know who he is, so he has a support system. He has a mentor. He doesn't have to work to pay the bills. His girlfriend is a Death's game.
Like I said,
he kind of is.
He's better at balancing his life than Peter. That's one of their differences, right? Peter hid his identity from his loved ones for a long time. With Miles, they fixed it. Everybody in his social circle knows he's Spider-Man. Basically. I wouldn't say that's the perfect Spider-Man though, because everybody that knows he's Spider-Man is at risk. Like what? How is that the perfect Spider-Man? Like I get it. It's helpful, but I wouldn't call that perfect Spider-Man.
His friends and family know who he is, so he has a support system. He has a mentor. He doesn't have to work to pay the bills. His girlfriend is a deaf saint, checking 2 boxes there. And he even reforms his nemesis.
Bro.
Deaf saint, checking 2 boxes there.
Bro, how is Haley being deaf? What is wrong with Haley being deaf? Seriously. Can somebody explain that to me? What is so bad about Haley being deaf? How is that checking a box? Like, do deaf people not exist in the real world? I'm just curious. Like, how is that? What is so wrong with her being deaf, bro? Is he not allowed to have a deaf girlfriend? Just can't happen? No? When that happens, it's automatically checking a box? Okay. What's wrong? I don't get what's wrong with that. How is that checking a box? Yeah, Feather Guardian, basically. Hi, C, did you get the videos I shared with you? Yeah, bro, chill. Don't be weird with it. But I saw the links. I got you. Just chill out. Let's finish this off, though.
And he even reforms his nemesis. Support system. He has a mentor. He doesn't have to work to pay the bills. His girlfriend is a deaf saint, checking 2 boxes there. And he even reforms his nemesis. Meanwhile,
yeah, because
boxes there. And he even reforms his nemesis.
Yeah, because his nemesis who killed his fucking dad. Or are we just gonna gloss over that? Killed his dad. And even reforming his nemesis when he wanted to kill Lee at the beginning of the game. What happened? Peter got the symbiote suit, and he realized that and he saw his mentor and how anger makes you do irrational things. He had to take down his mentor. He had to help him get the symbiote off, and that led Miles to realize, all this rage I'm carrying inside me, it's not good for me. And it'll make me do irrational things. So when it came to Martin Lee, he said, I won't forgive you, but I've seen what the hate does. I've seen what the rage does to my mentor. I'm not gonna let the same thing happen to me. So I won't forgive you. I just can't do that because what you did was terrible. But I can't carry the hate. So let's work together and end this. Now, I don't know what realm you guys come from, but where I come from, that's called character development. I don't see how it's not that hard to understand. I don't know where y'all come from, but where I come from, that's called character development. I mean, Haley isn't a bad character. She's underrated, although I just find her meh. I mean, Feather Garden, you gotta understand though, she's just a support character. Like, she's not supposed to be all that important. I think people just see her as a character who was made for inclusion, which isn't bad. Exactly. It's not bad. I mean, yo, why do people keep taking shots at Haley? I don't know, man. I don't know. Let's finish this.
Meanwhile,
what's up,
Peter
Drew?
just gets the crap kicked out of him for the entire game, both emotionally and
again, y'all be sure to like the stream. Keep telling y'all niggas this shit.
physically. Like, here are some examples from the game only. 1. Miles fights and defeats symbiote Peter. So unlike the original Black Suit Saga, Peter does not come to the realization that he needs a Snickers on his own. His friend has to come in and save him, implying he isn't strong enough to do it by his own will.
Or the guy that Peter taught how to be Spider-Man. Like, it's like, bro, this is literally a student saves the master from going down the wrong path situation. Yes, in other iterations, Peter got it off himself. But this is a different universe. A universe where Miles is in it and is learning under Peter. And he saved Peter using Peter's ideals, which is it's crazy to me. So, and like, yeah, Peter gets the credit for his own save, right? Because he almost turned out like Otto from the first game. And even then, he really had to help Peter find the will to get it off. So it's not like Peter didn't have the will to do it. It's just Miles guided him towards that point while beating the crap out of him. I don't know, man. It feels like y'all are just complaining, to be honest with you. Like, yes, there are problems with the game, specifically with the third act, but y'all are just nitpicking and saying, oh, well, he wasn't strong enough to do it on his own. Like, y'all are reading way too hard into this shit, bro.
The guy who's most
It's not that hard to understand. This is a universe where Peter and Miles are both Spider-Man. There are going to be certain things that Miles does with Peter and Peter does to aid Miles. It's not that complicated.
Trait is his willpower to get things done even when the chips are down. 2. Peter spends the entire fight against MJ's Scream taking a verbal lashing on his failures as a romantic partner. In addition to the general beating, which is really funny considering MJ signed up for that in the original game. Good thing she didn't.
Miles literally said you have to save yourself. That's what I'm saying. Like, these people are just. I mean, I'm not gonna attack his character. I mean, like I said, his heart seems to be in the right place. It's just he's not. I don't know. It's just the same talking points that I keep hearing before. So there's nothing new here. And then the stuff y'all are talking about, it's got even the comics. It's got nothing to do with Miles. And then this is just fanboys complaining. Stuff I know about why Riri Williams is disliked due to shit like designated hero syndrome, pro-tag-centered mentality. Everyone hypes her up. No, it's not that. She's just like, I don't know. They basically, because Tony Stark had to work to where he was. And Riri Williams was basically introduced as like someone who already had all of that. What Tony Stark had been working up to. So it just came across as like, wait, what? Like, Tony Stark literally had to earn all this? Like, that in and of itself, yeah, that was pretty bland. Now, from what I heard, she does get better later on in her runs, but her early years were fumbled. And then they had the chance to make her better in the movies. They fumbled that too. The fight with Miles and Peter and the symbiote was fire? Yeah. Best fight in the game. Best fight in the game. They could have removed the Scream concept and you just fight Venom and lose and take MJ with him. Nah, I like Scream. I think making MJ Scream was a good twist. I do think they could have handled her fight better. Like, her fight was unnecessarily dragged out. What did Tony have to earn, though? Literally everything. Everything about his character he had to earn. He built the arc reactor, built the suit. Stark Industries, he built that from the ground. Like, bro, do you not know Iron Man? Literally everything about everything that makes his character notable, he had to earn. Like, wait, what? I don't know what you mean by that, bruh. Miles didn't just needed to save his mentor, but saving his brother from the darkness. Yeah. Death Saint, I don't get it either.
Didn't mention anything about bed performance. I don't think Pete would have recovered.
But yeah, that's why Miles as a character works and Riri doesn't.
I know that MJ in-universe wouldn't say those things if not affected by the symbiote, but it means that some part of her feels that way. Peter just takes it all. So to the audience, it really comes off as though he's guilty of everything she's saying, even though none of it was intentional on his part. Peter then spends most of the third act either saying, "I'm sorry," or "Harry."
I mean, MJ felt neglected though. Yeah, she like agreed to it and everything, but she still has the right to feel that way. And it was just like, yeah, I mean, as much as we love being Spider-Man, it doesn't pay the bills. It was reserved. I don't know. This is like, y'all are reading into it way too hard. It's literally just reserved anger. And that was the whole point of the Scream boss fight. It was more of like an argument between Peter and MJ, which was one of the factors that led to him taking a break at the end of the game. Didn't he inherit his wealth from his dad? Or am I tripping? Yeah, somebody else was running it though. And Stark still had to manufacture the tech. So here, I mean, like, superhero wise though. Yeah, he did have to earn it. It was like, it's not just his wealth. He doesn't think you can organically include disabled characters. Yeah, it's crazy. I don't get it either. That's what I'm saying. Like, the more you hear these guys talk, the more they start to expose themselves. It's just like, how is Haley checking a box? Like, what?
Hey, it's Harry. Leave a message.
This man called me Harry. Are you serious?
I talked to Dr. Connors. He says you're too far gone, but I know that's not true. Harry, I messed up. I was terrible to you. Your dream, our dream, healing the world. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he was terrible to him. Did you not play the game? Like, literally, hang on. Hold up. Let's pull it up. We gotta pull it up.
If you want to...
Peter was definitely terrible to Harry. Where was it? What was it? I'm the hero here, not you. Where is it? Peter was terrible to Harry, bro. Terrible to him. Where are we? Do we gotta pull it up? It would make sense why he's apologizing. Where are we at? Hang on. Hold up.
Why don't you pop some more pills?
Let's pull it up.
Why don't you pop some more pills and say what you really feel?
Hey,
Yep.
don't.
I'm busting
Peter
my
was terrible
ass out
to
there
him.
trying to save you, and this is what I get?
I said don't.
I saw your
Terrible to
story.
everybody. So it makes sense that he apologizes. Like, what is this argument, fam?
The thing is, he was all for that, and then he got stabbed and nearly died. It's the only reason he even took the symbiote in the first place.
Here.
Yeah, but he was still terrible to Harry. Pretty sure he was just apologizing for it. I don't think that's weak. It's just owning up to your mistakes.
Finally ready.
Harry.
Just another look at how Pete isn't good enough. Finally, there's the Venom battle. This one isn't so much talking as it is the fact that Peter fights Venom and gets knocked the hell out for a decent amount of time. Miles, on the other hand, performs way better. Like, it's actually kind of insane how much better Miles does.
Sorry,
and to rub the salt in,
I got a bit of a sore throat.
Out for a decent
Let's
amount of
finish
time.
this off.
Miles, on the other hand, performs way better. Like, it's actually kind of insane how much better Miles does. And to rub the salt in,
yeah, but you gotta take into account though. First off, the anti-venom isn't nearly as strong as it was in the comics. Because if it was, then he would have body Venom, like literally would not be an issue. It was like anti-venom in this game is literally just a curing agent. That's all it is. Anti-venom in the comics would have bodied Venom, like no question. So they gave him a version of anti-venom, and Miles was able to keep up because, you know, he had the bioelectricity, which is a big symbiote weakness. And even he still struggled against Venom. Like, Venom nearly killed him, and then MJ had to step in. Right?
After Peter has to make the sacrifice of taking Harry out in order to stop Venom, Miles resuscitates him. Jesus is back, everybody. In the story, it all makes sense, but it's not surprising at all that...
Okay, so you literally just said... You literally just said in the story it makes sense. So what the what are you complaining? What are you, bro? What are you complaining about, bruh? What are you talking about? You literally just said, "Well, Peter had to stop Venom. Miles resuscitates him." In the story, it makes sense, but okay, that's end of story. It makes sense. What are we talking about? I think Harry. I feel like the way the writing was set up, Harry should have died. I feel like, but it made sense why they did it because they didn't want to repeat. They didn't want to repeat the first game where Peter had to lose May. So I get it. But I feel like the way the writing was set up was setting up towards Harry's death, but I get it. And even you said it makes sense. So what is this? What is this segment, bro?
People feel like Miles is being unfairly pushed over the... Makes sense, but it's not surprising at all that people feel like Miles is being unfairly pushed over the original. I'm of the opinion that
they just feel that way because they don't like the fact that Miles is able to be more capable than Peter in certain situations. That's really what it is. Even though Peter clearly kicked ass in the game, beat the hell out of Kraven, would have killed him if Miles hadn't intervened, bodied Lizard, stopped Wraith. He at least held his own against Venom. Like,
if Peter gets to retire with...
Peter was fighting his best friend. Yeah. And he was conflicted too. But he still held his own.
Some kids. Then Miles taking over is absolutely amazing. Kind of similar to how Spider-Man Life's story went, where Miles came around when Pete was old and had a full family already. So he was out of the game.
That's not how that works, though. It's more like a Barry and Wally situation where they're both Spider-Man, they're partners working side by side. It doesn't necessarily always have to be like a Batman Beyond situation where he's like too old to the point where he's like weakened. Because at that point, you've wasted your life, right? Peter was Spider-Man, spent all that time being Spider-Man for what? So...
feels like Insomniac is sort of heading in that direction, which is why the ending where he focuses more on his science side didn't upset me too much. It is very iffy to do so while he's only 25, though. That's why I'm thinking Peter's definitely going to make a comeback.
Let him live his life, bro. Let's let Peter live his life, bro. Y'all want that nigga to be Spider-Man until he's like fucking 50. Then he gets the chance to live his life. Like, no, bruh, no. In order for any of this, like I said, I love seeing Peter and Miles work together. But for any of this to really have any meaning, he needs to evolve beyond that costume. Like I said, give him Parker Industries so that he has some, he got something to fall back on, and let Miles be the Spider-Man of the streets. Easy. And like Kill said, EMF will probably turn into Parker Industries. Maybe he might get it in Spider-Man 3, but we don't know. But somebody's got to run that shit, and it's probably going to be Peter.
take on the Green Goblin. Of course, if they don't do
he's
this,
coming
then their
back.
whole trilogy is dog water.
Like, dude, were you not paying attention to the game? He literally said, hey, go be Peter Parker for a while, which implies that he's coming back. It's a break. Again, fanboys just overreacting. Even the developers came out and said, yo, y'all are jumping to way too many conclusions. And most of that was just the anti-woke community trying to start shit. Starting to think the hate for Haley is unwarranted. I can't even remember. Oh, okay. Yeah, well, we passed that, so. But let's finish this off.
Brief interjection here, but it has come to my attention that this Norman is actually the most boring one we have gotten thus far. He's not insane or even a bad father. He's a guy that ran himself ragged trying to cure his son and failed. Originally, I figured that Norman was going to torture Miles and that would prompt Peter to put the tights back on.
Bro, what, like, torture Miles? Bro, what is it with these? I thought the whole point was that he was supposed to be a Spider-Man independent of Peter. Like, what? No, it's not sarcasm. He's being dead ass. That would prompt Peter to put the tights back on. Torturing Miles? What is it with some of these fans having a hard-on for Miles getting tortured, bro? I don't get it. And for me, it was refreshing seeing a Norman that wasn't evil, because then you had to see him. You got to see him progress up to that point, right? You got to see him progress up to that point, progress to being the Green Goblin. I think it was refreshing to see a Norman that wasn't evil. I didn't mind it. I think that, and even in the first game, you saw some hints of the fact that he was doing some shady shit. Like, why do you think Otto hates him? You saw a lot of hints that he was up to doing some shady shit. You saw bits of his personality, his insanity come out. But I think it was refreshing to see a Norman that wasn't completely evil. But this man literally said, I thought he would torture Miles. Shit.
But I'm no longer seeing that realistically. Just one more gripe I have with the direction they took in Spider-Man 2. But to sum things up, Peter Parker is Spider-Man, Miles Morales is Miles Morales, is a knee-jerk reaction people are having because they think their favorite hero is being replaced. It's a cry of rebellion.
Let them cry.
For them, Miles is simply a Spider-Man, whereas the powers that be are trying to make him the Spider-Man.
No, they're not. I mean, Pete's the original, but that's it. And Miles might be the Spider-Man for the people that grew up with him. Like Wally West was the Flash for people that grew up with him. It's not that serious. All these people going around saying Miles isn't Spider-Man are either just gatekeepers or racist. That's it. It's really what it is. Like, I don't know what to tell you. But they're still not trying to prop him up to make Peter look terrible or whatever. Because all of these are situations that are unrelated to Peter whatsoever. And like I said, the stuff related to the game are just idiots complaining. Even you're trying to do backflips, you're trying to rationalize their actions. It's not worth it, bro. It's not worth it. Because these people, they're just never. See, look, should have left Miles in his own universe. Used to like Miles. Miles is a Spider-Man, not the main one. Not saying I hate Miles, but bro, it's just. I don't know what to tell you. I always preferred his other name, Kid Arachnid. No, he's not Kid Arachnid, bro. Fuck no. Miles is Spider-Man. Peter is Spider-Man. I'm so glad some Spider-Man fans have actually have fucking common sense. I'm so glad. But you're trying to rationalize their actions on me. They're just fanboys being fanboys. You can't do it. Like I said, your heart was in the right place, but to some people, Miles will never be Spider-Man to them, and that's fine. But trying to do all these like mental gymnastics to try and rationalize their behavior, it just makes you look dumber. to be real with you.
And I think the issue really is that they're forcing Miles into that leading position by dumping on Peter.
No, they're
For
not.
comparison's sake, people were fine with Wally West becoming the Flash because Barry went out saving the entire multiverse. He also stayed dead for years, and that allowed Wally to form his own cast.
Okay, let's kill off Peter then. All right. Okay, if you say so, let's have him have a heroic sacrifice saving the world. Let's do that. Miles has been learning under Peter, coexisting under Peter for long enough, right? Let's do that. Heroically kill him off. You really think the fanboys would be okay with that? You really think fans in general would be okay with that? Because you got to think about it. They already have a problem with Miles coexisting with Peter as is. Killing him off heroically? That's game over, bruh. I mean, maybe not, because like I said, most of them like the character, but again, you writing yourself into a circle, homie. I'm all for it. Whatever is different from what we've been getting. Whatever, like, I don't mind it. But again, you trying to appease the fans. Well, you know, people accepted Wally, and even then Wally got hate. Well, it was respectful for Wally because Barry heroically sacrificed himself. Okay, let's do that. You think they're gonna be okay with that? I'm just saying. Even when didn't Peter go out heroically in the Ultimate Universe? He died heroically taking out the Goblin, right? Right? Guess what? Fanboys still hated it. It's just, I get what you're trying to say, but it's not congruent. It's not congruent.
They were not okay.
And guess what? DC basically said, hey, we don't give a fuck. Wally's going to be the Flash for an entire generation. And he did. And he became an awesome character. Same thing can happen with Miles. He's already pretty much the Spider-Man for a lot of people because he's a great character. But again, you have these fanboys going around trying to make Miles fans mad because in their head, Peter's the only Spider-Man.
With Kyle Rayner becoming the sole Green Lantern on cast. They were not okay with Kyle Rayner becoming the sole Green Lantern because Hal Jordan became a supervillain to make that happen. Note, Hal became a villain in an out-of-character moment where he succumbs to trauma that he had already dealt with in a prior story.
And again, great point. Then that would make sense if Peter getting hoed in the comics had anything to do with Miles. But it doesn't. Peter getting hoed is not due to Miles' existence. Peter was getting shit on ever since One More Day, way before Miles was a thing. So again, you have a point there, but again, it's like comparing apples and oranges. Because Peter getting hoed in the comics has nothing to do with Miles. It just so happens that Miles has good stories because he has writers that actually like the character. Whereas Peter is just getting screwed over due to some other shit that we don't understand. Y'all are using Miles as a scapegoat for shit that happened with Peter. It's got nothing to do with him, bro. Nothing.
Respect.
And even then, people loved Kyle Rayner. Kyle Rayner was like Green Lantern, was the Green Lantern for like, what, a decade? He was the Green Lantern of the late 90s. Before John Stewart came in Justice League, I think. Was it Justice League Unlimited? But you have a good point. I don't think they should disrespect prior characters to prop the other one up. But that's not happening with Peter and Miles.
Versus disrespect. Another thing that could add to this is that both Miles and Kyle Rayner are unestablished characters that take the mantle after the originals are crapped on.
After the originals are crapped on. With Kyle, you have a point. Miles, alternate universe, Peter went out heroically. Same way you said Barry did, remember? Inconsistency. Caught him.
Definitely wouldn't help ingratiate them to new audiences. This is why I think Into the Spider-Verse has the best version of Miles. Peter goes out a total hero, and the other version of him that shows up turns his life around thanks to Miles.
Did some of y'all even read his comics? He literally went out taking out the goblin. Literally.
And has a kid. Just give my man Peter some kids, for God's sake.
He should have kids.
Are people right to feel this way about Miles?
I agree.
Let me know down below, but I'll end with this. With the way Peter has been written recently, I really can't blame these people for wholesale rejecting his so-called replacement. Thanks for listening. Stay blessed.
Yeah, no. Again, I think I think he had good intent, but again, it's just the same talking points. I've seen and heard before. But yeah, y'all requested it. I looked at it. I don't know what to tell you. Video debunked, y'all. Or something like that. Let's kill off Peter. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If y'all want him to be respected in that regard, let's kill him off. Good luck with that. Justice League and Justice League Unlimited. Yeah. Have you heard? What's up, Lindo? Have you heard that the Joker will be playable in the Suicide Squad game? Spoiler alert, Mark Hamill won't voice him. Oh yeah, because he said that Kevin he doesn't want to voice Joker unless Kevin Conroy was voicing Batman. Yeah. I heard about that. Zeb Wells can still kiss my ass though. But you gotta understand, it's not completely Zeb Wells' fault. It's more editorial. It's more editorial screwing with it. And since he's under the current run, it's just like, no, there's nothing I can do. You know what I'm saying? Sonic Frontiers. Oh, yeah. Sonic Frontiers music in the outro. But, yeah. Y'all feel free to tell me. Did he explain it correctly? Or was it more of the same shit? Oh boy. Oh boy. I don't know what to tell y'all, man. There's nothing you can do to satisfy these people. Miles is Spider-Man, just like Peter is. It's that simple. If they want to take it, we have been getting the same shit for years. If they want to take a break, build up another Spider-Man, I see no issue with that. The gatekeepers, the fanboys, they can whine. Just is with, like, when you make big changes like that, it's gonna happen. Don't try and rationalize their behavior. Just don't do it. But anyways, that's gonna be it for the stream. Thank y'all so much for watching. Like I said, I got an interview, so I'm gonna get up out of here. Yeah, he wasn't completely like insane or anything. It's just a lot of the same talking points that I keep hearing. Thank y'all so much for watching. Let me drop my Discord. Let's see. If you like what y'all saw, be sure to join feel free to join the Discord. Next video will not be Spider-Man related. Family Guardian knows what the video is gonna be about, nigga. The next video won't be Spider-Man related. I have a lot of other Spider-Man topics I want to talk about. Y'all saw the Superior Spider-Man video, so I'm gonna be talking about other shit. But I appreciate y'all tuning in. Appreciate it. If you like what you see, subscribe. Almost at 2K, right around the corner. Be sure to follow my Twitch, HiCHD. Where we at? Let's look up Twitch. There we go. Twitch. Put that link in as well. Where we at? And yeah, that's gonna be it. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Me playing my intro music, and I will get up out of here. What music should I play? Yeah, Peter Parker is Spider-Man, Miles Morales is Spider-Man. End of story. Exactly. Fuck. What should I play, dude? I have no idea, man. Hang on. Oh, shit. Hang on. Okay, here we go. We're good. Just play my standard music. Here we go. There we go.
Step into Wix Studio.
Fuck these ads, bro. Yes, Feather Guardian, it's the hair crap. That's gonna be the next video. It's gonna be the next video. Or we could use this. Could use that. Anyways, that's gonna be it. Thank y'all for tuning in. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace, niggas. Take care, stay safe. Catch y'all on the next one. Peace.